Hi everyone, this is Tier 2 Tech Staffing Agency, and today we're going to be talking about resume tips. This, of course, is in correspondence to our latest wonderful article, 30 Best Resume Tips, the Ultimate Guide. If you have any more questions or information, you can head over and read that at tier2tech.com. So, simply put, you have around 5 seconds to grab the attention of a hiring manager, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So to grab a hiring manager's attention, you have to have a great template, have a title under your name, and have a wonderful skills section and job experience section. Think about it this way. Your resume is your elevator pitch. This is your one shot at getting that interview call. Even if you don't have an amazing background of work experience, you still have to have the perfect resume. So we're going to go ahead and get into tip number 1, and that is going to be the format. Look, you don't have to be a graphic designer to create an aesthetically pleasing resume, but your resume should look good. Well, ultimately, you want to have a resume that stands out and grabs eyes, but doesn't consume too much attention. Remember, this isn't a flyer for a monster truck show. Luckily, every word processing program has resume templates available to use. Even Google Docs, for example, if you look at this is a free program. We all know how to use it, and they have a few resume templates just off the back. So basically, pick one that looks great, but also professional and not too cluttered. We recommend sticking with one color if you're going to use color, black text, and you should have a decent amount of white in the background. So for number 2, we want to make sure that you include all of your contact information at the top of the page. Now remember, this contact information must be correct. Do not be the person that misses out on a job opportunity because you mistyped your phone number or misspelled your email address. That's a terrible reason to lose out on a job. Don't be that person. Include a title under your name too. So who are you? And what do you do? This gives the hiring manager a quick way to find you without having to sort through a million of resumes to look for, let's say, a graphic designer. So, for example, if you are a graphic designer, put that you are a graphic designer. Even if this is an entry-level job, still state that you are the title. After all, if you're applying for the job, then you have the skills and prerequisites to apply correctly. So it's kind of like that saying, if you make art, you're an artist. If you have the skills to be a graphic designer and you're applying for a graphic designer job, then you are a graphic designer. Put your job title. One, this shows confidence in your abilities, right? And confidence is key. And confidence is going to be key throughout this entire process, but we'll get to that later. So for number 3, you want to keep it one page. No one wants to read a book on you, regardless of how interesting you are. So keep your resume one page. It needs to be short and sweet. And like I said, this is your elevator pitch. So for number 4, do not forget keywords. Look, it's a fine line here. Resume scanning software catches on to keywords for the specific job you're applying for. And if the company isn't using a scanner, the hiring manager still wants to see some of those keywords in your resume. They want to see words and jargon that apply to the field that you're applying to. It shows that you know what you're talking about. But on the other hand, too many keywords comes off as desperate and a bit generic, kind of like you're trying too hard. So try and find a good balance. Let's go back to the graphic design example, right? If you are applying for a graphic design job, you want to make sure you use words like Autodesk and Adobe Illustrator somewhere in your resume. And this is what the skills section is really for. This is where the resume will be tailored, while everything else will stay about the same. Number 5 is going to bring us to tailor your resume. Each resume should be different for each job. It's a lot of work, sure, but finding your dream job isn't going to be easy, and it's going to require some time and effort. As said, take the time to look over the job post and find what they are looking for specifically, and try and mold your resume to that. So if a job post keeps talking about you being fluent in Photoshop, make sure to make your Photoshop expertise front and center in the resume. At the end of the day, you are attempting to sell yourself as a worker, so one pitch isn't going to fit every company. So for number 6, is education necessary? Well, the short answer is why not? While job experience and skills are going to be more important for your resume, if you have a certification or college degree, there's no reason to leave it out. It doesn't take up much space. Just make sure to include the year you got it and what college you got it from. Don't put your GPA. It's a waste of time. And if you've been working in the field long enough, that's past history. And also, listen, your high school is pointless. Unless this is your first job and you don't have any work experience and you're just trying to fill the resume, leave your high school in the past. It's pointless and it really doesn't say anything about you. That was a long time ago. So number 7, work experience. This is going to be key. This is going to be the bread and butter of your resume. This is not only where you show the job that you have done what it takes to fill the role, but also gives applicable experiences, right? So basically, this should be the majority of the resume, and we say to put it directly in the middle. Keep your job experience in chronological order going back about 10 years. You don't want to show that you have super long gaps in your resume, and if you do, be ready to answer those questions in the interview. Let's go back to the graphic design example. If you're applying for a graphic designer job, you want to focus hard on those jobs that you've done previously that apply to graphic design. You want to have a description with bullet points that tells them exactly what you did, what experience you learned from it, and what skills you had that are applicable from that job to the job you're applying for, right? So you want to put an overview of the responsibilities you learned with that role and how they're going to work towards the job you're looking towards now. So ultimately, you should have a bunch of bullet points that are going to show what you did, how you did them, and what skills you have that are applicable to new jobs. If for some reason your last job wasn't in the field you're applying for, it's not really necessary to put that much information about it. You want to focus more on the jobs that are applicable, right? And if for some reason the job is not applicable, you can always try to find some transferable skills that will work for the new job. For example, if you worked in customer service, you can always talk about having customer service skills. This just needs to be short and sweet. It's your elevator pitch. Side note, if you put achievements, include your team. Say if you worked on a significant project that taught you management skills, say you and your team instead of I. This is we, not I. This demonstrates great teamwork skills. Overall, your work experience should deliver a clear and clever way to show your skills with actual real life examples. So for number 8, moving on to skills, we recommend putting skills at the top of your resume and formatting it in a 2-column list. Skills are kind of an interesting topic. Going ahead and saying things like hardworking and dedicated seem kind of like a waste of time. In fact, you should be demonstrating how you are a team player, how you are a hard worker in your work experience history. So skills section is kind of left for the things that don't necessarily apply to your work experience. Let's say, for example, you're fluent in Adobe Premiere, but you haven't had a job that has used Adobe Premiere in the past. This is the place that you would put it. This is going to be the stuff that you see in the job description that applies directly. This is going to be your keywords. If you see in the job description that being fluent in Photoshop is the number one thing that they're looking for, fluent in Photoshop should be your number one skill, if applicable. Stuff like hard worker and great communicator seem like a waste of space, and if they're in your work history examples, then you don't need them here. Number 9, for the love of everything, please proofread. Nothing loses a job opportunity quicker than having typos in your resume. It looks lazy, it looks bad, it reflects you badly. Remember, your resume is a reflection of you. It's your chance to sell yourself. Don't have mistakes. Not everyone is a great writer, sure, and that's okay. Use your spell check on your word processor. It's there for a reason. You can use sites like Grammarly if you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of the grammar as well. Just take your time and make sure everything is correct. This is advertising you, so don't be lazy. And our final tip at number 10 is going to be confidence. Look, confidence sells. It's a crucial part of life, and especially job applications. Be confident in your abilities. This is the time for you to brag about yourself. This is the time for you to brag about your abilities and your work experience in the past. If you were selling a car to someone, you would say how great it is, right? You would say how perfect the paint is and how wonderful it drives. It's the same concept here. What makes you you? What makes you special? You've got this, and you are a superstar. So you need to come across like you are. And those are our biggest resume tips. And of course, like I said, if you need further explanation or more tips, you can check out our article on tier2tech.com. Have a wonderful day and go win that dream job.